Hi everyone, welcome back. Lockdown 2.0, and it's been really nice of everyone saying that the only highlight and silver lining is that I'll do a few recipes again, because I've got nothing else to do. My cafe's closed, I can't do private dining. This is the only time I get some time to show you some of my recipes I do at home, and they were such a hit last time. I was really surprised how many of you cooked my recipes every time I saw you or you messaged me. Everyone was just saying to me that I got them through last lockdown. So let me try and help to get you through this one as well. It's a shorter one, so let's hope we can spread some joy with some home cooking. And today I'm going to start off with a dish that I normally do as a starter when I'm making some sort of oriental feast on the weekend. And it's also with tofu, which I've never really had a good relationship with starting off, but we've got to know each other and I'm a little bit more comfortable with it, and I think it's because I understand tofu. You've really got to know the personality of tofu. So this is my tofu imitation duck wraps, Chinese duck wraps with hoisin, all the little trimmings, and it makes a really lovely starter, and it's super quick, super easy, as you know all my recipes are, and I hope you guys will give it a try. And yeah, it's the restaurant experience kind of thing that we're missing, so I'm going to try and bring you some of those dishes too. So let's go over and start with the tofu. So to prep the cucumber, I just make like 2 pieces like this, and then I slice it into slices like this, and what I do is remove the centre bit of the seeds, because this will just make it really watery. So take out all the seeds, you don't need them, you'll get a soggy pancake, and then we'll just cut it into nice thin strips. If you can get thinner than that, so you want it like about that kind of thing, like matchsticks. So I'll just do the rest. Going on to the spring onions, and you also want them in matchsticks. I'm just going to top and tail them. So there, get rid of that bit. And then the scraggly ends, let's just get rid of those. Halve them, and the way you get the matchsticks is half it, like that, and then again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and then so on. Okay, so you've got your cucumber and your spring onion ready there. So your tofu's been wrapped up in tissue paper and has been soaking up all the excessive water, and that will give you a much firmer tofu. So once that's done that, you can even put a heavy book on top as well, and that will help as well. I haven't had it soaking here for that long actually, I should have had it longer, but it's fine if you just do it for about 10 minutes with a book on top, and then you can remove your tissue paper. So this brand is the Cauldron brand. It's the one I had, but I also like the Tofu brand, Toofoo. That's ready firm, and you actually don't need to do this process. You don't need to soak it at all. So that just gets rid of the excess water. And then what we're going to do is cut it into strips, ready for marinating. So like lengthways, like that. And then downwards, so you get matchsticks again, because all this kind of shape will be great to put in your pancake, and they'll be similar to how your cucumber and your spring onions are cut. So I'll just cut the rest of that. And there you go. You've got your sticks of tofu ready for marinating. So now you've got your cucumber and spring onions ready. Let's do the marinating of your tofu matchsticks. Now this is where I fell in love with tofu, realising that it needs a bit of a crispy exterior. I think it was that texture I never really got on with. I didn't really see the point of it. It was flavourless, and then I realised you've got to make it a bit crispy, inject lots of flavour in it. It can absorb a lot of flavour, so be generous here. So the first thing I always start off with when I've got tofu, and it's naturally a little bit damp, it will take really well, so some corn flour. Corn flour, when you're frying it off with the corn flour, will give it a really nice crispy interior, and leave the exterior will be crispy, but the interior will be like nice and spongy. So that's the magic of tofu. And I think as a meat eater as well, you're expecting a lot, but I realised the way it behaves is, it's really unique, and yeah, I now really like it. So let's go with that's about 2 tablespoons of corn flour. Once you've gone in with the corn flour, I'm going to get some garlic granules and just sprinkle them on. And yeah, it's all by eye for me, but I'll try and quantify it. It's probably about a teaspoon. And then we're going to go in with Chinese 5-spice. And if you haven't got this in your cupboard, you need to buy it. There is so much you can do with Chinese 5-spice. It's available in all the supermarkets. I like the Bart one. I think that's got the nicest flavour. So Chinese 5-spice, yeah, it's just amazing, and I'll try and do more recipes with it. So if you buy it once, we'll use it again. So let's go in with Chinese 5-spice, very generously coating it all across your tofu. And once you've done that, we're going to go in also, that's probably about a tablespoon, maybe 2. Actually, that's about a tablespoon, so you've gone in quite generously. So once you've got that all looking like covered in lots of powder, that's not going to do much, so I'm going to do a little bit of vegetable oil. So we create a tiny bit of sort of sauce for it to stick to, and then I'm going to go in with my hands. So now you just want to sort of mix the corn flour and the Chinese 5-spice together on the tofu. But you know what, don't do this on an angry day, because this is so delicate. You've got to be really gentle with it. Just sort of coating it a little bit, but not being too harsh with it. Just sort of making sure all 4 sides are coated with a bit of corn flour, a bit of Chinese 5-spice, and the garlic granules. I think that's about enough, and I'm going to put a bit of sea salt. Any salt, don't mind. Any salt you have is fine. And look, evenly, as I'm instinctive, so I'm looking at it going, I want it a little bit darker actually. Let's put a tiny bit more 5-spice in there, and now we are ready to fry. One last pat. Let's go. So I'm going in with my non-stick frying pan here, and the oil dispenser you guys loved so much actually broke. I used it so much, yeah, the cap just kept falling off, so I've just got a squeezy bottle for now for my oil until I'm allowed to go to the shops again and buy a new one. So I'm putting in quite a generous amount of oil, I'd say about 2 tablespoons or so, just so it covers the bottom of the pan totally. And you want to make sure that's quite warm, and when it's shimmering, you want to go in with the tofu. So just put a little piece in to see if the oil is ready, and if it starts sizzling like that, then you are ready to go. So just start gently placing it in. And like I said, it is quite delicate, so be gentle. Once it's got a crust around it, it will be not so delicate to handle. As you can see, it looks really nice and crispy, and I'm really excited. I never thought I'd ever say I'm going to be excited about tofu, but I am. I give it a final little flurry of black pepper. It's done. Can you hear that? Crispiness. Honestly, so excited. So you now have all the components here to make your duck wrap. So let's assemble. Normally I would just put this all on the dinner table and the kids would all help themselves and make their own, and that's like the fun sort of interactive bit of it as well. So try and do a bit of that as well. So let's get one of our pancakes. Place it here. And on your pancake, just some shop bought hoisin sauce. This blue dragon one's nice, there's a few others. This is just what I had in my cupboard. Put a tiny drizzle on and spread it. And try and get some on the edges as well, because that's where it will be used like a glue to close the pancake. And then you go in with some salad. So you put your cucumber in there, and we're going to put a bit of spring onion in there, like that. And yeah, you're nearly done. Put in a few strips of tofu, like that, nice and crispy. Go on then, let's put in one more. And then you close it like that, and like that. And that is it. Done one, let me just make one more. Close that up. And there you go. You've got a takeaway made at home.